welcome back to Bows and Bullets. I'm your host Ohanno, joined with Liquid Chicken.
Hello.
Just a little update, guys. We did a little bit of off-camera building. All we did was finish off the floors over here, fill in the wall. That's pretty much all we did. Did a little bit of fishing, because I know you guys really don't want to see that, at least not early game. But right now, what are we doing right now, Liquid?
So right now we've finished building the house. If you'll come over here, I don't see where you are.
I'm right here.
Oh, you're right there. Nope, now I see you. I guess let's just jump up and show what we've done.
Yeah, I jumped up. I jumped up already.
Oh, okay, sweet. Then we did it. I made a little smoke pick up there. The spot that we're at is going to provide us for a lot of progression, actually. Right over here, you have what is going to perfectly be our little mine shaft. We've got a lake and a small pit that's going to fill up with water eventually. And then we've got my little tree farm that I'm starting over to the right just a bit further. But, I'm not going to show you that later. We're probably going to start mining and see if we can find a shaft today. Phrasing. So, hopefully that'll be what we're working on for the most part. We're going to jump off to a different world once we've got all the base equipment and all the important stuff. And we're probably also going to test out ice arrows. I've been using flaming arrows. They give a couple extra ticks of damage, which is really nice. But if the ice arrows freeze opponents, then that might be also really helpful for the way we fight. Because neither of our weapons have knockback right now.
Okay, so wait, what do you want me to do here? You want me to go this way now, or just keep going the same way?
Yeah, let's just follow it until this bit ends.
Okay.
Because this looks cool. And hopefully that'll help us out. Ooh.
Oh, wow, chest! Nice. Let's see what's in it. A menacing radar. Plus 4% damage. I'd prefer the defense right now.
Well, here, give me that. You're right.
Oh, here. Arrows. Some more recall potions. I have a full stack, so. Some silver coins. And some.
Don't put those away before we...
Wait. It's a different day. I'm gonna go check if that. The zoologist is selling the ears you want.
Oh, yeah. So, as the audience is probably put together, I'm a furry. And...
As am I, but not. Probably not as.
I was gonna let you be the one to say that, but okay.
I'm probably not as not as into the fandom as much.
That makes sense.
Spiritually inclined.
Community, but you have an interest in the material.
Fucking look at all these ladybugs, dude. Damn. Come down here, ladybugs. I want you.
Yeah, no, I've been a participating member for about 8 years now.
Come here. Gotcha.
Okay, let me craft. I've got 999 arrows. That should be okay.
Okay, you want to go to the snowy biome first?
Yeah, let's get the snow first. Let me craft some basic.
Oh my god, look at all the ladybugs! Holy shit! That's a lot of bait, dude.
Ohanno's kind of become our quartermaster because I don't know as much about this. I don't know anything other than what he's told me.
Yeah.
So, he is our quartermaster in essence because of that fact.
You got any questions for me?
He helps me know what we need to be doing and stuff. So he's the one that is usually spending all the money and catching everything.
I'm gonna sell this. I'm gonna sell this other radar because we don't need it. Sell that. I'm gonna sell my apprentice bait because it's trash.
Wait a minute.
Seaweed's useless. Sell that. I got 14 gold. I'm gonna put that in a chest so we don't lose it. Okay, let's go.
Haha, I do! Look at that! I fall slower now.
Yep.
Also, I need to collect these mushrooms. Yeah, so right now we're gonna head over to the snow biome so I can check out these ice arrows. I'm really loving the ranged combat in this game, so I'm dedicating to that. And Ohanno's been the melee. But since both he has a wand and I have a bow, so neither of us have knockback.
We can mine this now.
Oh, cool.
Interesting.
I'm hoping that the freezing arrows will substitute the knockback and allow us to progress our combat strategy.
Oh shit. Oh, bunny. Come here, bunny. I'm gonna sell you.
Actually, while we're standing here, I'm gonna chop some wood, because these are some really big trees.
Yeah, these are some really big trees. I think it's actually turning night.
Oh, dang it. Should we wait a bit?
Nah, we can go.
Okay. Famous last words.
Yeah.
One more tree for me.
Oh my god, he's dead. What's happening?
Well, at least I'm protected mostly from fall damage. I have the umbrella now.
Yeah, you have to make sure you remember to bring it out, though, when you're falling.
Yeah. Okay, unless we die right here.
Ignore the purple slime. Ignore the purple slime.
So, the banners, do they work only in proximity, or does it give us
proximity
in general? Okay, so it won't help us out here.
No. There's a pretty pro strat for whenever you're trying to like kill like a bunch of things. Is to, like make like a little arena with the banners of the thing you're trying to kill.
That's what I was thinking, actually.
Yeah.
See, this is why I like ranged in that case. Let's stay away from the enemies. It is very important for me to kill the slimes occasionally, though, because I do need to pick up more gel.
Yeah.
Arrows. We're just gonna cut through.
Yeah.
You don't like this particular drop, I can tell.
Well, it's kind of hard to get over.
Oh, I see, I see. Oh, wait, it's impossible to get over. You're right, actually. We never tried coming back that way.
No, we never did. We always just went right. Oh, there's some emergency vehicles in my neighborhood.
I've taken the time to explain to the audience to place down a couple of bridges across these lakes so that we can get across faster.
Ow.
Oh, yeah, you're right. I thought I could jump over it.
Damn slimes, man.
Okay. You just keep those guys off me, and I'm just gonna mine right here. I need just snow blocks?
I don't know.
Probably should have checked before we came.
Yeah, probably should have. You probably need ice.
Oh, that's a good point. Yeah, you're right.
There's ice right here. Yeah, this is ice.
Penguin hostile?
No, penguins are nice. I'm gonna sell it.
It's nice. Let's sell it.
He's a good boy. He likes to be sold.
The ethics of Terraria. Ooh, that's just right here.
Yeah, that's just straight up ice. Oh, how I dread coming to the ice biome.
Why?
In hard mode. In hard mode, there's like a thing that you can spawn called the ice golem, and that dude is just a whole other type of crazy.
Okay.
He's not even a boss, he's a mini-boss, but he's fucking ridiculous.
Because I'm gonna have to make the ice torch in order to make the ice arrow.
Yeah, so check in your inventory, you should be able to make the ice torch now that you have ice.
Yeah. Yeah, ice torch, and then that should mean that straight away I should be able to make ice arrows. Yep, I can make ice arrows now. So let's just grab a little bit more of this ice, and then let's get out of here. How much ice do I have? Where do I see it? Have you been standing close enough? Oh no, 43. Okay, I thought you were standing close enough for me to grab it all from the backset.
The weather is overcast. 3 miles an hour wind to the west.
Here, help me dig it a little faster. There aren't any monsters.
No, there's a bunch of them coming.
Yeah. As I say that.
No, they keep getting stuck, but... Oh, one of them was smart enough to get over. Oh, there we go.
Wait, place a wall right here on either side of the cavern.
Yeah, I could do that, but I think we're fine.
Well, the only thing if you place a wall and then a door, then the only thing that can get here is the eye. No, the eye. We'd actually be completely fine. We could
Except for ghosts.
Yeah, the ghosts are the one thing that we have repeatedly had a lot of issues with.
Ah, shit.
Well, now I am going to place myself in a little hole.
Watch out, there's a zombie coming for you.
Yep, I know.
Get him.
Never mind, dang it. I couldn't get my wood out fast enough.
Hey, isn't that a first world problem?
Why can I not click the wood? Wood, come here.
How is it zombies can always tell when I'm going to jump? That just doesn't make any sense to me.
I might die too.
Yeah, we gotta get down.
Yeah, dang, shite.
Maintenance, mining, and free logistics.
What are you doing?
You have a schedule. I'm not going to change the schedule right now. And then you have multiple ships, where their home is, so on and so forth.
Is that me?
Yeah, it's definitely you.
Hyperspace, jump, and all that.
I don't know why that started playing. Okay.
That's strange.
Dang it. What happened was I placed my I placed the wood in my my quick bar, but didn't put the thing I clicked back in my inventory. So I was trying to place wood, But I couldn't because the thing was in my hand. And then by the time I was done, by the time I figured that out, there were enough things that spawned around me I couldn't place the wood quick enough.
Yeah, no, you should have just been fighting.
Yep. Well, I'm gonna sit here.
No, I'm just running. I have not actually seen a single thing since the first zombies that saw me.
You say that, and there are 2 zombies in front of me.
Yeah, the first zombies that saw me.
Okay.
Now I just encountered
What if
one
it
zombie.
runs through here that causes them to spawn, and then you just, oh yeah, there's nothing.
Yeah, it's kind of how Lady Luck. It's kind of how she does it. But more on that world building thing, and I don't mind if we talk about this. This, you know, commentary. It doesn't have to be about the game. So right now, pretty much in the book right now, I've got like the main character and a bunch of, you know, really important characters in this town. Wouldn't really call it a city, called Rubel.
Yeah.
And Rubel, it's like a sub-town to a theocracy. Okay, theocracy's the wrong word, more like a kingdomship, but and so Rubel is like a high trade, a high paced location. And then like around that city there's like a bunch of different things. Like there's the smaller towns, there's Calix, is that the right one? There's a town by it that's got like a temple or whatever, and it's like super religious practice. And I just really need like help devising like at least a basic map so I can keep the story straight, you know? So like I don't forget that something is next to another thing.
Yeah.
Damn.
So first off, an understanding of how the maps and stuff work should be helpful, and I can at least explain that a bit. So I'll give a bit of context for my question, and then I'll ask the question.
Okay.
Hold on, I gotta concentrate. I got 3 eyes on me.
Ow. I didn't even see that, Raven.
Yay. Okay, I'll continue. I was just standing in the house till morning. So like I was saying, basically, to give you an understanding of how far things away are from each other in medieval times, are you aware of the trope in fantasy books where, like, everything is pretty far away from itself? Like, the book starts in a town nestled so far away, a lady in white, that it's off on its own, no one really ever bothers with it, and there the main character of the story lives, and something happens in the town. Maybe it's destroyed, maybe it's attacked, maybe a quest hero comes, and he is given some piece of information that starts him on his journey. Are you aware of that trope?
Yes.
Okay. That trope is, and I don't say this in any way as an insult or in any way to stop people from writing this way. I have written so many stories and daydreams this way. That's a lot of wishful thinking. The actual distance that a village or town would be from town, so the normal naming system is actually village, town, city. That's what a lot of them would have just been referred to and called. A village on average is going to be anywhere from 80, maybe 70 to 150 people.
Okay.
And that is rather consistent for farming villages and other villages.
Okay.
A town is going to be several thousand. So this could be 5,000 to 7,000, maybe even closing in on 10,000. But that's for the biggest town, maybe like a trade hub that's not quite a city. Then you have cities, which will be tens of thousands. As if I'm correct, if I'm remembering right, that should be the scale. Villages in proximity to each other. Guess how close one village would be to another.
Okay, I'll throw out a random number. 70 miles.
Sorry. In the time it takes to get there.
Okay. We'll say half a day.
Actually, that's the high number. Farming villages would be anywhere from 3 hours to half a day away from each other.
Okay. And like what? Like the average human can walk how many miles in a day? I looked this
30.
up. 30?
30 across even, smooth, flat terrain. So hilly like countryside terrain, probably closer to 25, maybe 22.
Yeah, my calculations are getting me close to like 22 to 24.
Yeah. So you would be able to walk to your neighbor's house. The next village over. Actually, the next 3. It's in. See, look at that. Did we get close enough to the door?
No, I don't think so.
Maybe they have a crit that does that or something. I don't know.
Maybe.
So basically, you'd be able to walk to the next town over, and the various towns around you if there are other towns within. Villages within about 3 hours.
Okay.
It's about 4 or 5.
So they're relatively close to each other.
Yes. Your neighboring town, so from town to town, would be at the minimum, again, half a day to 2 days.
Okay.
So going from one town to the next town would be about, at the average, about a day. Place no fire, what the heck, we're just sitting here. To be about a day or 2 from town to town. So then, from city to city, it would be about... Oh, dang it, I have to... Oh, I didn't mean to do that. I have to pick up the furniture that's sitting here. Yeah, thank you. From town to town, it would be... I'm sorry, from city to city... What the heck? Place. There you go. It would be about anywhere from 1 to 2 weeks, maybe 3 at the absolute biggest.
Okay, that actually works out quite well with how I've got the idea of it in my head anyway, because my idea is that, like, Rubel is probably the most developed, like, city. It'd be
and
close
that's
to a
actually another
city.
important factor. How developed the setting is will also determine this. If you want to go with a very pre-medieval, if not a very primitive setting, then you could actually have your biggest cities only be a few thousand.
Okay.
Because, so let's go all the way back to Mesopotamia. During that time, at the very beginning of human civilization, at one point in time, the biggest villages and cities they had were several thousand. So there weren't tens of thousands yet. But the capacity to have villages and cities with tens of thousands of people in them happened pretty early on after the period of agricultural and sedentary life. It was still thousands of years, but compared to the overall span of human life, from the point of the first civilizations to the point of having 10,000 people in a city, wasn't all that long, actually.
Okay.
Cities developed... Well, the science of a city developed, depending on the culture, pretty quickly.
Right. Yeah, I know what you meant.
Okay, thank you. So yeah, so again, it's also depending on the aesthetic of what you want, because when I say tens of thousands for a city, which could be 15,000, it could be 30,000. By the way, tens of thousands doesn't mean 50, it kind of caps at 30 with the medieval ages. 30,000 was like the biggest cities.
Okay. But so, like, I'm finding it hard to quantify it because I don't have a map to show you, you know? But so, Rubel is like the westernmost city. And around that, there's actually like... So around that to the south, there is like farming villages and agricultural stuff. Villages, towns, some of them are towns, but not all of them, of course. And then east of that is another city, and this city it's a very old city, and it's not as developed as the ones that were created after it, but it is still a very big city.
So so there's Rubel, Ghost.
Oh shit, yeah.
Oh, you hit it through the... Okay, you hit it through the wall.
Yeah. There we go.
You said it's to the east?
Yeah. Well, so the oldest city of that civilization, culture, we'll say culture here, is to the west of Rubel. And Rubel is the farthest east that you can get on the map that is still a city. There's still more east, but that is the only city to the farthest of that east. And then around the older city, that's bigger but not as developed, There's, of course, a lot of farming villages, because, you know, you kind of need those to keep out the city. There's actually more mining towns around that city, and they're all ghost towns, as of where it's mentioned in the book. Because that is when, like, the raid is happening, and that town is... The city is taken over, and then the towns, and then the villages preceding it are also taken over, and the main character is from one of those towns. He's from one of the mining towns.
It might be day.
Yeah, it is day. And then, of course, like, north of that, there's, like, another city that I don't have a name for. And a majority of the leaders of the culture are in the northern cities now. They used to be in the west southern ones, but they're not anymore due to the fact that one of their forwarding outposts was taken over, like, a few years ago. So it's no longer safe for them to be there.
I'll point something out. Here, I'm going to take a moment to make a bridge here.
Okay.
Maybe I have enough? Okay. Oh, flying fish, dang it. It was a little stronger than normal. There you are.
Ah!
Oh.
Flying fish.
Okay.
Dead fish.
I'm gonna fix the beginning of it. There you go.
Okay, you were saying?
Yeah. So basically, so here's an interesting anecdote about today. Is racism or discrimination as it functions nowadays, obviously very still racial and stuff like that, but prejudice based off of not skin color or race, but the people of a country.
Mm-hmm.
In the modern day, is theoretically more determined by East and West than North and South at this point.
I can definitely see that.
Some people theorize that if there is to be a second civil war, whether for legitimate reasons like they're actually considering there will be, or just the possibility of theoretics.
Okay.
It will be East and West and not North and South this time. It will be the economic, racial, and social, well, less racial, social differences of East and West, and the economy, and various other factors, rather than North and South.
Right. And the war in mine actually is technically an East to West and not a North to South. They moved north along their border.
Ah, there you go. That's also a good reason. There you have the distinction.
Yeah. Yeah, my bad. I should have clarified that. So, the central theocracy, it's called central for a reason. It's in pretty much the center of the map, continent, we'll say. They are fighting the other country, and a majority of the country that they have good ground in attacking is the one on their west. The one on the east is comprised of similar... It's actually technically the same king... How do I put this? It's of the same control, but they still have separated crowns. So, like, there's one king... There's one hierarchy for the east and one hierarchy for the west, but they themselves consider themselves as the same entity.
Oh, okay, so that is a very interesting nuance. I don't know how much you... it's your idea, so I hope you know a lot about it, but can I go into that a little bit?
Go ahead.
So that's what happened with Russia. So one of the really interesting things with a situation like that is where two different governing and political entities both think that they are the one in charge, but it's actually... they are at that point two separate countries legitimately. I really love that nuance and that idea. So, wow, no, don't brain fart now. I just had the idea. That can bring up a lot. Okay, I brain farted. I'll remember it in a minute. That can bring up a lot of really, really interesting nuances in the way you run your book, due to the fact that they both genuinely think that they are. Oh no, I remember. I just started writing a story a few weeks ago, with a diocese actually. Now, a diocese in its proper definition is the name for a small area that is controlled by a single Catholic priest during medieval times. So basically, a diocese is almost like one church and then the surrounding areas.
Okay.
But in this case, I've used the term diocese to refer to the fact that the country is split up into 6 parts. 5 of these parts are the original countries. The 6th one, in the very center, being the smallest one, is the newest one. In essence, in this world, the countries are all populated by the same species, all working together in the same country, or the same manner, but the differences between these 5 nations, even though they're all the same species, and that is species plural, there are more than one species.
Okay.
Led them to warring with each other. And then once the 6th group pops up, either before or during the war, one of them at least, and then eventually unifies all of them. And the 5 original countries like to pretend in how they refer to themselves and how they talk to their citizens as if they are the ones in control of the overall mass. All 6 dioceses, all 6 different sections are controlled by them. As in, does that make sense?
Yes. No, I understand.
Yeah, whereas only the central diocese actually is in control of everything, and it can create... Consider this, the citizens in one diocese don't know that their leaders are lying to them. So, how does that affect the story? It's such a cool and nuanced thing, so I love that you're doing it.
Yeah. Well, so, kind of like in the lore of why there is a similar West and East Kingdom and they consider themselves to be equals, is because of the Trials of Zykiel, which is something that's referenced in the book, but it's not something that's in the book. And the Trials of Zykiel is the journey of the very first Kayan and his rise to the rise to the religion, the rise to his power, the rise to the kingdom. And the kingdom initially started on the west. And there was like this great what's the word for it? What's the word for it whenever people shift between a very long distance?
Civil War?
No, not Civil War. Like they move a very long distance.
Migration.
Migration, okay, yeah, I guess that works.
Exodus,
there we go. There was a great exodus that Zykiel was not a part of. Hang on, I'm gonna fix this. So
we can't go... It's weird, we can't go down, but we can't go up.
Yeah, that's always been an issue with this game. So, when Zykiel is created...
Also, love that name.
Yes, I love the Zykiel's name. I spent so many days coming up with it.
I was gonna say, I've never heard that before, so I do think that's original to you. I was gonna ask, is it based off Ezekiel?
No.
Okay. Actually, Super Tultry is gonna grab.
Yeah, okay. I'll guard you. Fine fish. So, when Zykiel was reborn, Zykiel was not born a Kayan. Zykiel was turned into one. And he started all Kayans. And Zykiel has a
that's like a lot of modern day vampire mythologies.
Yeah. And it does kind of follow the vampire rule, not that you bite to transmit it or nothing, but Zykiel and certain members.
He's gone.
Zykiel and certain members of his species can actually turn humans into that species.
Cool.
Of course, there's issues, there's complications, there's a possibility it could fail.
Laws, I'm gonna guess.
What?
I'm gonna guess there's also laws governing it.
Yes, there is very heavy laws governing it. Most of it is technically religious, but
I'll leave it there.
Like it's more of a taboo than it is a law, but there is still a law.
Yeah, that makes sense. It's more tabooed than there is law, but there is law.
Yes. And during the Trials of Zykiel, he pretty much he doesn't lose someone that's close to him. He nearly loses someone who's close to him, and he travels somewhere else that's secret to everyone. And meantime, he creates, or he picks 13 leaders. And these 13 leaders, half of them go to the east to establish a new kingdom, and the other half stay in the west, and they rebuild their kingdom, because there was a war between them and humans before the war that's currently in the book.
Okay.
And during that exodus, the Eastern Empire actually flourished a lot more than what was expected. Because the thought was that you were going to have a very powerful Western Empire, and then we were going to have a resource-rich East Empire. But it actually turned out to be the opposite.
But it actually happened.
Huh?
Like they thought what would happen with America, but actually happened.
Yes.
By the way, we're both Americans, so we can actually make that joke.
Yeah. Might as well just keep going down here because we gotta find stuff.
Ooh, well, let me experiment with those ice arrows real fast.
Oh yeah. Get those.
That was the whole purpose of that. Oh, hey, golden fish thing. Is that important?
What?
It's a walking goldfish.
Oh yeah, they walk in the rain. I can catch it. Mine.
Oh, okay.
Let's sell it.
I was wondering if that was like a good item. Banners, that's super cool. Demon Eye, Blue Slime, and Zombie.
Yeah.
Okay, I'm gonna make those arrows real fast.
She's still selling the dog ears and shit, so keep looking out for it though. Damn, penguins sell for 11 silver a piece. Wow. I'm gonna sell these because I can just make more.
Wait, I need... What? I need normal torches to make ice torches.
Yes.
Oh. That's not complicated. That's an extra layer than I expected, but okay.
Yeah, let me know if you need more torches. I got like 500 of them.
Oh, well, can you give me a bunch? That'll be a lot cheaper than you making them. Give me like half or something.
Yeah.
I usually keep a good 200 on me anyways.
There you go.
Thank you.
Oh, I think a star landed on our roof. I'm gonna go grab it.
Yeah.
Yep. But... So... The Eastern Empire is like super developed compared to the other ones. I mean, the technology is still kind of pretty the same everywhere, but they're more developed. They have...
More culturally, perhaps?
Culturally, the Eastern are way more refined.
Ooh, Jester arrows are fallen stars and arrows.
Oh, really?
But I get 20 apiece, so that's actually worth it.
Yeah. Yeah, I'll hold on to the fallen stars now.
Yeah, so I can... Okay, so what does a Jester's star do? 10 ranged damage versus... Oh, and the Frostburn arrows also do 9 damage. That's 2 more than the Flaming Arrow. Nice. I also get 20 Jester arrows, but also it's slower to get stars than any other resource, so I guess that makes sense.
Yeah.
Back to what you were saying.
So the Eastern Empire...
Weak knockback instead of very weak knockback, so that's even better.
Nice. The Eastern Empire is a little bit more refined in their, So, okay, so you know how, like, if you're talking to a court, in medieval times, or if you're talking to, a king or a queen, you're very respectful. You have a lot more manners than you do in other cases. There's a lot more of that in commoners in the East than there is in the West.
You'll treat the commoners with more respect.
Yes.
That's super cool, I like that.
Because the East, there are certain towns and cities in the East that have complete walls going all the way around them. Like City of Troy style. That's how developed they are.
That's super cool, I like that.
Yeah. And so the Central Theocracy, when the first war ended, the Central Theocracy actually helped the Eastern Empire start. And when the war started up again, they kind of cut off the East from the West.
That's exactly what you should do. That's what they kind of did with, America.
Yeah.
America.
And, I mean, there's still ways for them to communicate. And unfortunately, sometimes it has to be by foot, which means it's very dangerous and very, very, very long journey. And there's a lot of deaths in the West because it's less developed, there's less walls, there's less defenses.
Oh, I have 5 stars. I can make some of the Jester's arrows. I'm gonna do that.
Yeah, I think I've got 3. I'll hand you these ones.
Then I have 80 of them now.
Nice.
I do need to take a second to order my inventory.
Yeah. Yeah, go ahead. Take your time. Probably be recording multiple episodes again.
Yeah.
Yeah, just so you guys know, this is actually our second recording session. The episodes previous was all just one recording session. And since I haven't actually posted those yet, I'm sorry, but I won't be able to get to any comments if you guys do comment. So...
Yeah, by now, this is day 2, but also probably episode something.
yeah, I can't really tell by now if the episode...